A family friend walked up to me at my brother's retirement party and smiled. "Oh, Hannah, I didn't realize they let support staff bring guests. Which department are you with?" Before I could answer, my mother appeared beside her. "She's family, unfortunately. Just ignore her." I should have left right then, but I stayed, and that decision changed everything. "My name's Hannah. I'm 29. I work as a regional coordinator for a nonprofit environmental organization. My older brother Derek is 45 and just retired from a VP position at a Fortune 500 company. Big salary, luxury car, corner office, the whole package. I chose passion over money. I drive a 12-year-old sedan. I live in a tiny one-bedroom apartment. My wardrobe's mostly thrift store finds. To my family, I'm the failure, the black sheep, the one who didn't live up to potential. Derek's their standard, their pride and joy. I get the polite nods and the questions like, "When will you get a real job?" I wasn't pulling 6 figures or driving a Mercedes, but I was building something they couldn't see, something that mattered. Family meant something to me, even if I didn't mean much to them. So when Derek's retirement party invitation came, I went. I thought maybe, just once, they'd treat me like I belonged. I was wrong. If you've ever been pushed aside by family, subscribe right now and tell me where you're watching from. Because what happened next proved I never needed their approval in the first place. The venue was upscale. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, designer outfits everywhere. I wore my best dress. It was 3 years old and came from a clearance rack, but it was clean and pressed. I still felt like I was wearing rags. At check-in, my brother's wife Ashley looked me up and down. "Oh, you actually came. Not, 'Glad you're here.' Not, 'Welcome.' Just surprised that I'd shown up." She handed me a name tag, barely making eye contact. "Seating's a little complicated tonight. We'll get you sorted." I spotted Derek across the room, surrounded by colleagues in expensive suits. I walked over. "Hey, Derek. Congrats on everything." He gave me a quick, stiff hug. "Hey, glad you could make it. I've got important people to talk to right now." Then he turned back to his circle, dismissed. Ashley reappeared and gestured toward the back of the room. "You're at table 18, by the kitchen." I walked past the VIP tables at the front. Mom, Dad, Derek's in-laws, his co-workers, all the important people. Table 18 was in the corner, near the swinging kitchen doors. I sat down with strangers, plus ones who didn't know anyone either. Distant acquaintances, nobody from my family. During the cocktail hour, my father stood and raised his glass. "To our son. Our pride and joy." No mention of me. I wasn't surprised. I overheard my aunt whisper to my cousin at the next table. "I'm surprised she showed up. What has she even accomplished? Still at that little charity thing?" My cousin laughed. "Probably here for the free food." I stared at my water glass and considered leaving. Then Ashley's voice rang out, louder than it needed to be. She was talking to someone at a nearby table, but her words carried. Hannah couldn't afford a proper gift, so she just wrote a card. Sweet, I guess. My face burned. I had brought a heartfelt card, and a small gift. A vintage compass I'd found at an antique shop, engraved with the words, "Find your true north." It wasn't expensive, but it meant something. Ashley made it sound like I was cheap. People glanced over. I wanted to disappear. Then the photographer called everyone up for family photos. I stood. My mother held up her hand. "Just immediate family for this one, dear." I froze. Derek, his wife, their 2 kids, and my parents posed together. I stepped back and sat down. Other guests noticed. I tried not to cry. The photographer called for extended family next. I stood again. But it was for Derek's in-laws, not me. I was invisible. Dinner started, and my table was served last. Fewer options, smaller portions. The waitstaff apologized quietly, but it didn't matter. Then Derek took the mic. I just want to thank everyone who made this possible. My parents, who always believed in me. My wife, who supported every late night. My mentors. My team. Even my old college roommate, Jeff, for keeping me sane. He went on for 5 minutes, never said my name, not once. Then my father took the mic. We always knew Derek was destined for greatness. We raised him to aim high, to never settle for less than extraordinary. The implication was clear. I'd settled. I wasn't extraordinary. My mother added, beaming, "We're so proud to have a son who made something of himself." Every word felt like a knife. I sat there, exposed, invisible, and completely alone. After the speeches, Ashley appeared at my table with a forced smile. "Hannah, since you're not really involved in mingling, could you help me with something?" She led me to the gift table. "Just organize these, okay? Make sure the cards match the gifts." She was treating me like unpaid staff. I didn't want to make a scene, so I started sorting. My cousin walked by with a friend. "Look, we found something she's qualified for." They laughed. Another family member, I didn't even know his name, held out an empty champagne glass toward me, like I was a server. I set the glass down on the table, firmly. "I'm a guest, not the help." My voice shook, but I said it. He blinked, startled, and walked away. I escaped to the bathroom, locked myself in a stall, fought back tears. I gave myself a pep talk in the mirror. You don't need them. You never did. I checked my phone. 3 urgent messages from my boss. "Hannah, I know you needed tonight off, but the CEO's assistant confirmed. They're making the announcement tonight. This is your moment." I stared at the screen. I typed back, "I'm here, but this might not be the right time or place." Her reply came instantly. "Trust the process. You've earned this." I took a deep breath. What my family didn't know was that my little charity thing wasn't so little. For 3 years, I'd been coordinating a regional clean water initiative across 6 states. We built sustainable systems, partnered with local governments, trained community leaders, and this week, we'd secured a $50 million grant expansion, the largest partnership in the foundation's 40-year history. The CEO was supposed to make an announcement soon. I didn't know it would be tonight. I'd kept quiet from my family because they never asked. They never cared. So I stopped telling them. Here's the kicker. The venue we were in? It was owned by the foundation. Derek's company had rented it without knowing the connection. I fixed my makeup, smoothed my clearance rack dress, and walked back out. I didn't go back for revenge. I went back because I'd spent too many years hiding. Maybe it was time to stop. A woman in a sharp blazer was scanning the room. She spotted me. "Hannah, there you are." I recognized her. Jennifer, the CEO's assistant. We'd met during a site visit last month. "I'm coordinating tonight's announcement. The CEO arrived early and realized this is your brother's event." "Wait, he's your brother?" "Unfortunately, yes." She studied my face. "Are you okay?" "Long story. They don't exactly value what I do." Her eyes hardened. "Well, they're about to." She explained that the CEO wanted to make the announcement during the evening program. I panicked. "Wait, here? Now? Can't we do this literally anywhere else? You've spent 3 years working nights and weekends coordinating teams, securing the largest grant in the foundation's history. You think he's letting that go unrecognized?" I was torn between wanting recognition and wanting to avoid the drama. Meanwhile, Derek was still holding court, basking in applause. Ashley walked by and said loudly to someone nearby, "Some people peak early, some people peak never." She was talking about me. My father cornered me near the bar. "You've been awfully quiet tonight. Not that we expected much. Maybe next time you'll have something worth celebrating." For the first time all night, I felt calm. "Maybe I already do." He laughed and walked away. Jennifer saw the whole thing. Her jaw was tight. "Oh, this is going to be good." The CEO entered the hall. Jennifer greeted him. I stood there, caught between fleeing and standing my ground. The venue coordinator took the mic. "Before we close tonight, we have a special guest with an important announcement." A man in a tailored suit stepped onto the stage. Robert Thornton, CEO of one of the largest environmental foundations in the country. Derek looked curious. He probably thought it was another award for him. Thornton smiled. "Good evening. I apologize for interrupting, but I couldn't let tonight pass without recognizing someone extraordinary." My family looked pleased, still thinking it was about Derek. 3 years ago, our foundation launched an ambitious initiative, clean water access across the Midwest. Some guests looked confused. What did this have to do with Derek's retirement? We needed someone brilliant, dedicated, relentless, someone who could build coalitions, navigate bureaucracy, and turn a dream into reality. He paused. "That person is here tonight. Hannah Mitchell, could you please stand?" The room went silent. My family's heads snapped toward me, confused, then shocked. I stood slowly. My hands were shaking. My face was hot. Thornton smiled warmly. "Hannah, I know you're here supporting your brother, but I hope you'll forgive me for supporting you tonight." He continued. "Under Hannah's leadership, the Midwest Clean Water Initiative has provided sustainable water access to over 200,000 people across 6 states. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Derek's face was unreadable. This week, we finalized a $50 million grant expansion, the largest in our foundation's history. And Hannah will lead it as our new director of regional programs." Applause erupted. My family sat frozen. My mother's face was pale. Ashley's mouth hung open. Derek looked like he'd been slapped. Thornton gestured to the stage. "Hannah, your work has changed lives. We're honored to have you." I walked up on shaking legs. He handed me a plaque and an envelope, the formal offer letter. I took the mic. My voice was steady. "Thank you, Mr. Thornton. This work has been my purpose. I'm grateful to everyone who believed in it, and in me." I made eye contact with my family. I didn't say anything pointed. I didn't need to. The contrast was clear. I'd been honored for changing 200,000 lives, and they couldn't see past my old car. People I didn't know congratulated me. My family sat in stunned, humiliated silence. Derek's retirement suddenly felt small. After the announcement, my mother approached. Her smile was shaky. "Honey, we had no idea. Why didn't you tell us?" I kept my voice calm. "I tried, for years. You never asked. You never listened." My father stepped in, trying to save face. "We always knew you were capable." I cut him off gently. "No, you didn't. And that's okay now. I don't need you to believe in me anymore." Derek walked over, uncertain for the first time all night. "Hannah, congrats. I didn't know." "You didn't want to know. There's a difference." I said it without anger, just truth. Ashley tried next. "We should celebrate together. Family should—" I interrupted, calm and kind. "Family supports each other before the awards, not after." I said polite goodbyes. No shouting, no drama, just quiet strength. Jennifer caught up with me outside. "You handled that with so much grace." I smiled. I stopped waiting for their approval a long time ago. Tonight just made it official. I drove home in my old car, back to my small apartment. The plaque and offer letter sat on the passenger seat. I looked at them under the streetlights, and for the first time in years, I felt free. For once, their silence didn't hurt me. It freed me. I finally understood. I never needed their approval. I needed my own. I'd spent years being the black sheep, and tonight, I realized I was never the problem. If this story hit home, I want to hear from you. Have you ever been underestimated by the people who were supposed to lift you up? Have you been dismissed, only to prove them wrong later? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. If you're watching from another country, tell me where you are. This community is global. Hit subscribe if you believe your worth isn't defined by people who refuse to see it. Your story isn't over.